Welcome back to Mama's Healing. I am Lorraine. I am here.
I'm Janelle, mother of Emmett and Jensen. I love very much.
I'm Julia. I'm here too.
I'm not gonna lie. I came up with a whole intro last night in bed, and I don't remember what it was. I was so proud of it too. I was like, "Yeah, that's gonna be so good." It might come
later.
So, yes. So this episode, well, we'll get into the topic after this. So let's do a quick check-in. I'm tired. I'm always tired on Saturday. I gotta go to work tonight. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm also feeling very good. I'm doing applications and I'm just getting a lot of love. I'm like, yes, they all want me. So it's boosting my ego.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Do we go?
I started my job this last Monday, and I love my job. I'm so happy back in the workforce. I'm tired, but I feel good. I'm doing my classwork still. I'm keeping up with everything. Mom and Lorraine has been so helpful. So I feel good. I feel empowered. I feel confident. I'm killing it, I think.
Mm-hmm. You really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar to both of you, I'm tired. And I did start a new job Monday too. I'm so happy. It's amazing what a different environment does for your, no, you did that, but thank you. Yeah, it's amazing what like a new environment, a new role will do for like your own self-confidence, because it's easy to kind of fall into that rut of your environment. And so I feel like this new job just like picked me up and was like, put you on a pedestal, you're great. And I'm like, me? I'm great? Okay. So tired, but very fun week. Very fun week.
Good.
Sad that we're apart though.
Say it again?
I said I'm sad that we're apart though.
I know. I miss you so much. You remember I told you I'll come
so
back.
fun. I think even Lilo's adjusting. Like he was like, I had my buddy all week. He has to go back to daycare.
Oh.
Like, I don't like this. So yeah.
River just keeps roaming around the house. Like, is anyone else here? I'm like, no.
I'm it.
Just me.
Enough, guys. But yeah, overall good.
A little pop culture.
Yes.
I know y'all didn't come prepared, so I came with some gifts. Okay, I was just on YouTube last night because I was like, let me put some music on while I like clean and fold. Have you guys heard and seen her new music? She's got 2 videos out right now. Enough, Miami, and then Like That. Cardi B. Sorry.
Oh yes, I heard Enough.
So good. Have you seen the music video?
I don't watch music videos, but I will.
It's sexy. Like she has different hair, her outfits. It's just like it's giving like I'm single now. Like, yes, I love it. And I thought was really cute. So then I watched Like That like right after. And I watched it was good. It wasn't like anything like, ooh, wasn't comparable to Enough. But at the very end, it says directed by Offset. And I was like, I kind of like that. Yeah.
2 checks for 1 household.
She said, my baby daddy can't be broke because he still owes me.
Our children need stuff, okay?
Like, you gotta build up that resume. So I thought that was cute, and I like her new music. I'm ready.
Okay, when Cardi first came out with her first like Bodak Yellow, all that, I really liked that album. There was like, it just felt fun and like, like, I don't know, it just felt relatable. It wasn't like the best bars and blah, 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 but it was just like a good album. And so this Enough song reminds me of that. I was like, okay, but this one has some good one-liners. I was like, okay, Cardi. But
She
yeah,
does.
a couple
Her
of times.
writing has definitely improved. It's gotten a lot better. I like it.
Maybe her team.
Huh?
Maybe her team. Don't know if she's right.
Yeah. The writing has gotten better.
Yes.
See, it's so funny because like people get so like, oh, they don't do their own writing. I'm like, okay, yeah, there's writing out there that I'm like, it's not so great that it's like, oh, she couldn't have possibly written. Like, it's okay. I wouldn't be surprised if she did write her own music. It's not what's it, James Baldwin level of writing. It's probably her.
Yeah. And oddly enough that you bring her up, I've been watching like, those like compilation videos on YouTube of like reunion moments of like Love and Hip Hop.
Mm.
She's reading these men, even back then. I was like,
And that was the thing is like she did not let any of them slide. She was like, look, and I remember that was my introduction to her. I was in LA with Patrice, our cousin, and I was like, I don't know who she is, but I like her. I was like, her faces though killed me.
yeah. She was really eating them up, like, and I was like, okay, you've been doing this. Like, this has just been. So yeah, I'm always happy she has more music out because she's just likable. Like, she has that it factor. She's likable. Like, I think she's relatable in a sense that like we all have like one of those friends that's just kind of like wild and tells what the fuck's up.
Yeah.
I just finished the video.
Isn't it cute?
So gorgeous.
Like her hair, the
body.
I'm gonna have to watch it after we're done recording because
her looks and like she was playing with contacts, which I was like,
and look, the piercing,
so cute. Yeah, there's one look she had like
so
facial
beautiful.
piercings. Obviously they weren't real, but I was like, oh, I like that. It was giving. I'm here for it.
She's so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good for her, Cardi.
Yes. Real quick, still on music. Meg is going on tour this summer. Mm-hmm. I am so excited. I really want to see her, but I don't know if I could spend that money so fast because she's going to be here in, I think, June. But I want to see her.
What's the price range like?
The floor seats, like right there, are like $230, and then the cheap ones were like $130. So
is that with a seat?
It's not crazy. I wouldn't think so. It's just the time frame. Like
you have time to get that money.
Yeah, to like not feel stressed out spending that so fast. Yeah. But I would love to see her, but
I think it'd be a fun.
Yeah. Because it's mostly women.
Honestly. I think it would be fun too. Like, I feel like I'd feel empowered. Like after I left, I'm like, yeah, I am a hottie.
You like sing along and you'd be like,
yeah. I'm gonna need to sit down with a chair though. So
yes,
seats.
Yeah.
Guys, everyone else sit down too.
I can't see.
Yeah. It would be fun, but that is cutting it a little close. That's like 3 months away.
You will go into labor in the stands. Like that baby on the Renaissance tour, she was in labor. She said, "Look, I spent money." Because I think she was in the standing area.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm fine.
She's like, I knew if I told him, he would make me go to the hospital. Man, you better sit down.
Jesus. Yeah, but okay, that'd be kind of nice. Let's manifest that.
A Meg baby? What are we manifesting?
Concert ticket.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm with that. I think he would appreciate that. Okay. And before our last pop culture. Cowboy Carter. Have you guys been seeing? That's the album.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing the visuals that she's giving out? It's just more pictures. They look good. No.
The one with the
Y'all
horse?
saw her?
I've been busy this week.
Mm.
Is it the one with the horse where she's like on the white horse and she's like holding a flag?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that one. Is there more?
No, I think that's it. I was thinking of like.
You know what?
There was like a bag
I'm missing out.
But like she did like that whole spread of pictures prior to that. But I
Oh,
think
yeah,
those
yeah,
were
I
like
saw
I think
that.
that was like a magazine. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I loop it all together.
Are you guys reading any of the comments?
No, I don't care what people say.
No.
People are just. People are so stupid. They're
What
so.
do they say?
Oh, she's on her white girl era. It's like she's black, so. That's impossible.
Black people aren't country apparently.
Or have blonde hair or ride horses.
Like Etta James. There's a lot of other old school artists that were blonde. It's not new.
Isn't there a movie coming out, or maybe it already came out, about like black cowboys? Am I tripping?
Well, there was
The Harder They Fall
on Netflix with Jonathan Majors and Idris Elba.
Yes, I did watch that. But I thought that there was one about like not maybe it's not maybe cowboys isn't the right word, but like ranchers.
Concrete Cowboy.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that one. Did you watch it?
The cult?
Concrete Cowboy, I think.
I don't know.
It had Idris Elba, I believe, and then the boy from Stranger Things.
But one of them was based on true events. Like it wasn't like this really like there really was a group of black cowboys that did all these things. I'll have to look. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this isn't so far-fetched. Like, why are you guys... And again, like, it's just a genre of music. Like, you see how stupid you sound? It's a genre of music. Like,
and if you read her post, she explains, like, after being shut out, she doesn't name them, but it was the CMT Awards. CMA Awards. And she's like, and I went to work and started researching the history, realizing that we created this and y'all are stupid. And it's like, yeah, that's how it is. Mm-hmm. But you know what? They did that to her in a couple of albums. They're like, she's on her white girl. Is it? Because in all her music, she does not let you forget that she is blackity black.
Mm-hmm.
Black.
With a capital B.
Black mixed with black.
Yeah.
Is there any questions? Like, so yeah, some of the comments are stupid. Somebody was like, there was like, I guess, a Bible verse that they used to like, hell rides in on a white horse or something and brings like the devils with them. And I'm like, okay, your Confederate statues have somebody on a horse, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, just, yeah.
I think it's so interesting that there's like a certain kind of person. I need somebody to like research this and study it and give me information. Like the people who like don't like Beyonce. And I'm not saying this like she's like perfect, but it's like there's something to it. Like I have not met anyone that was like, yeah, I don't like Beyonce because
legitimate facts.
She does XYZ, right? Like I can say I don't like Chris Brown because
he's an abuser.
I got a list. He beat on Rihanna. Did not complete his community service. He has not reformed and improved behavior. He has multiple exes after her that have done restraining orders, have had different cases. Like he's not a better person. Like that's who he is. He's a horrible person. Like I can say that with like facts of the things that are happening, right? People don't like Beyonce, I think, because people like Beyonce, which is so weird to me that they get so like it's just like people just have an issue with other people having joy or people celebrating something. It's so interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's someone out there that has like a legit list of like, yeah, she did XYZ, please let me know because
she kicked puppies or
yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't.
She's on Twitch somewhere. Like I don't know,
just
hating on like children. I don't know. Like please let me know. People don't like her because people like her.
Yeah, she keeps to herself and she's talented.
Yeah.
And the people that don't like her, I feel like they wear it as like a badge of honor. Like, oh, I don't like Beyonce. Like, I'm different.
Yeah, I'm not a sheep.
Like, yeah. But it's like, okay, have you actually like listened to her? Do you even like, and it's one thing to be like, I don't listen to pop music or I don't listen to hip hop. That's different. Like, I get that. But yeah, it's like I'm not like you.
Yeah. Better than. I'm like, oh, better than the best? Yeah, right. Yes, I'm not like, I don't think I'm a crazy Beyonce stan. Like, I'm not like, she can do no wrong. If something came out that was legitimate, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I liked her. I don't want to stop listening to her music, but I will. But like, she just minds her own black ass business, has her family, and makes hits.
Yep.
Like, y'all were singing Single Ladies. Like, why are you acting like you don't know these songs and that like all of a sudden she's not that girl?
Mm-hmm.
And she really tries. I feel like she really tries to, when she sees value, not, that sounds rude, when she sees like other talented people, I feel like she really tries to use her platform to kind of boost them up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what it should be.
She doesn't abuse her influence because she's very much aware of it. And that's why she keeps herself, one, I think for her own privacy and her family, but like she doesn't want to just like be out there giving her opinions on every little thing that pops up because she knows the weight of it and that people don't know how to act right. But when she does her collaborations and she does like her ambassadors, like it's a huge, it's a what is it, a symbiotic relationship, but definitely she is using her influence and power. And I'm like, why is that so bad? Why are we hating on that?
Mm-hmm.
Because they could never.
Yeah. But she did say in the post about her collaborations and that we're going to be very happy. And I was like, if it's not, I am forecasting Dolly Parton because.
Yes.
And then at least a couple of the current like Black country stars like
Mickey Guyton,
Kane Brown, Kane, Reese Palmer, Brittany Spencer. I'll be happy. Tanner, Adeline, yeah.
I've been listening to a little bit more, but I don't know anybody's names. But I feel like, yes, I think she'll have a couple of like the not so well known Black country singers. But I think I'm thinking, okay, I was hoping it's gonna be like Shania Twain.
Ooh,
I'm like,
that.
Could you bring our girl real quick?
Yeah.
I feel like she also probably but probably has a song with a really big male country artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that she said in that post is like, you guys are going to be really like excited or something. So it has to be somebody that has been able to cross the threshold.
Okay.
That's how my mind took it. Like, it's going to be people that maybe you don't even know country like that, but you know that country artist.
Got it. It's so hard to keep track because, let's be honest, like a lot of these country artists, if they're not Black, they're a little, it starts to get fuzzy on where they stand. So I don't know a lot of like who would be a good, because I can name artists, but I don't know if they're problematic or
I like Thomas Rhett.
Okay.
I like Luke Bryan.
Okay.
Garth Brooks.
Okay.
I used to like Jason Aldean, but not anymore.
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah, because his wife be talking shit. He supports that.
Oh, yeah. Isn't he married to Faith Hill?
No, that's Tim McGraw.
Oh. Okay, well, I don't know.
But I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if he's cool or not.
I don't know either. But remember when Lil Nas X came out with Old Town Road? And they're like, this ain't country, blah, blah, blah. And then Billy Ray Cyrus hopped on it. And he's like, oh, so this ain't country with my little country ass on it? So I feel like it's gonna, I don't know know why. I feel like it's gonna give that, but with like the names that like if okay, isn't Willie Nelson? No, he's like is Willie Nelson a country singer?
I feel like country from playing him.
Folk maybe is the right word, or
Bluegrass.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like I feel like it's gonna be like, ooh, yes. We'll have to.
She said it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. And I'm like, bitch. So I wouldn't be surprised if she just is like, it's not going to be as restricted as we're thinking. Like, it has to be country. So I'm excited.
We should write down like our top art like collabs we think, and then see who gets as many right.
Okay, yes, because we are down to 6 days and it's coming out.
Yeah, he's country music. That's what they're claiming him as.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Willie Nelson is like in. Like I feel like he's down with like he's not problematic. He just likes to smoke weed. He's just trying to chill. Like isn't friends with Snoop Dogg?
Right.
They say he's dabbled in country, blues, jazz.
That would be interesting because he has instruments.
Simple.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Dolly Parton. I think I might piggyback on that Willie Nelson, and then any of the like at least two of the more current Black artists like Mickey, Kane Brown, Reese Palmer, Brittany Spencer, and Tanner. I will, any of those new ones.
Yeah. I definitely, if Dolly's not on there, I'll be so shocked. So freaking shocked. But I'm going to also pick, like, I don't know, I really want a Shania Twain moment. I really do. My old ass does.
And I really hope she does visuals for this, because with this type of collaboration, you got to see it. You got to see the energy, the video, like everybody just bringing their own like flavor. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. 6 days.
Okay. For the pop culture, let's wrap it up. It's a little heavy, but I do want to talk about it because it is all over my timeline. Quiet on Set.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, so
I watched it. I've been watching clips.
Plan to. You said you watched it?
No, I've been watching like the little clips that have been coming out. I just haven't had like that mental space or that time to just sit down and be like, okay, let's dive in.
Yeah.
Already discussed.
It's hard. It's deep, but it is very interesting because I will admit I don't know much about Drake Bell in the sense of like what his case was. I had heard about it in passing and was just like, oh no, that's too bad. Like, but I saw a video pop up where she was basically like, let's just take a second to watch what he had said. Because at the time, I think it was in 21, he actually released a video talking about it. And in the video, he basically was saying that he pled guilty to text messaging a 15-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And then in another video, he was basically saying like, that was what happened. He was like, there were no physical sexual relations. There were no pictures involved. He was like, I didn't know how old she was. So yeah, I was texting her, but at the time, he didn't know. And then when he found out her age, he stopped. But also, she went to a show or a concert of him, not realizing that it was the same person. And he's like, that's why I pled guilty. He's like, because I did text her. He's like, that's what he's like, but if you're paying attention, like, he's like, I'm at home right now. Like, he was in the video. So it was interesting because I didn't follow it. So I didn't have any other information about it. So it's just interesting kind of like taking it in and being mindful of the information we're receiving, because I definitely was like, oh, okay, and just like kind of marked him off.
Right.
Yeah.
What's so frustrating about that too is like, so in the, like I said, I've just been watching clips or whatever, and so in one of the clips of him from Quiet on Set, he's like talking about what happened to him. And in the comments, people are like, okay, yeah, but he did the same exact thing. And it's like, you can't discredit what somebody went through because of what they have done in like recently. Yes, two things can be wrong at the same time. However, one wrong doesn't mean that this one goes away. Like, and to me, from what I've been gathering, there's been so many like witnesses and evidence and people bringing this up for years, but it's only important now. And then I saw this thing that Dan Schneider like put out an apology in air quotes because it wasn't a fucking apology. He was like, oh, I owe a lot of people a big sorry or something like that. And I'm like, so wait, you're out here in these streets apologizing, air quotes, for something, but you're not acknowledging that something happened? Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. And how are you out in these streets? Because they're like, another thing I saw too was that some of the people that they mentioned in this docuseries, so I think it's like 3 parts, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's 3 parts. And some of the people that they mentioned are still working in Hollywood. So it's like, y'all know there's just perpetrators left and right, but, and there's so many layers because, again, when somebody has a position of power, they can do a lot of awful things. Diddy. I still have my Diddy. Like, when you have this, when you created this world where it's like, if he doesn't like you, your career's over, for the writers, for the actors, for anybody on set, that's scary. Like, you hold their livelihood, and so you allow people to get away with more because they have that power. Mm-hmm. It's so like calculated and like it's gross. It's really gross. Like, seeing how from every perspective he was a villain. Yeah. From every perspective.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, these kids, either they really wanted to be in some type of like performance art, acting or singing, or their parents really wanted them to. Either way, it's just really sad that they weren't protected. Mm-hmm. And even kind of still now, as they're adults now, aren't protected because, of course, it's the whole but da-da-da-da. It's like, you can't. We're getting away from what's happening in this moment right here. So I do want to watch it. I do want to get the sit down and just kind of see, because
one clip talked about exactly what you just said. Like, he was all, I knew I was uncomfortable being on set, but I also knew that every time I was on set, that was one step closer to getting my family out of the hood. And his mom was there and was like, yo, is this normal? Like, what is going on? I don't like this. And that boy's manager, or whoever's their like acting, who books their gigs, manager? Agent. That kid's agent called his mom and was like, you're making this harder for your son to be on stage, and like, you need to stop. Like, he can make it if he would just relax a little bit. Like, you're kind of ruffling too many feathers. And a lot of the comments are like, where are these kids' parents? And blah, blah, blah. What about the parents? And I'm like, again, stop looking everywhere else and look at what these people did to these children. Like, yeah, I can't wait to watch it. But I feel like it's going to be tough.
Yeah. tough. But I'm glad that they're doing it, because I think it just helps like educating people and like keeping it in the forefront, because a lot of these cases are from like early 2000s, where I think we were still in that victim blaming, disconnect, like, wouldn't happen to me, couldn't be me, where I think now we're in the generation where people are understanding that we are all a part of the problem and we need to do our part to prevent and just protect our kids, our people. So
And I think sorry, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
One more thing. So they're also interviewing, from the clips I saw, some of the writers. And these are adults. Like, these aren't kids that are writing, these are adults. So seeing how even the adults were being manipulated and how they even felt like they couldn't speak up about what they were writing about, and like, I don't really think that this is funny. Like, this doesn't seem like a good sketch, but having this person like, well, I know best, blah, 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 you're going to do it, or you're not going to work anymore. So it's like, it's not just the kids. Like, he's like a menace all around, all around. So I like that they're bringing in the adult part of it too, because it's easy to discredit children. It's, I mean, again, it's right, and it shouldn't be the norm, but it happens, and that's the reality of the world we live in. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What is it streaming on?
Hmm?
Is it streaming on?
Max, HBO.
Oh, is it? Oh, they've been putting out all the good stuff, so. All right. Okay, so we are moving into the topic. As you can see by the title, it is Medicated Mamas. So I know we all have our own journey to where we are, like, emotionally and just like in our relationships. And I guess just talking about how we got there. Is that a good segue? Who wants to go first? I'll go first.
I was like, huh?
Okay. So, okay. I guess I will start at like where I'm at right now and how I got here. So I'm currently on sertraline. I don't know. Are we saying names? Okay. Sertraline, antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and I fucking love it. So I am 33 now, and I will say that I've had various levels and ranges of anxiety and depression since, I will say, Temecula. So I was like 10. All right, we're looking at over 20 years of the way my brain is just unmedicated, running raw. So I struggled with that. And I will say in high school, I remember, I don't know what happened, but I had a whole breakdown, called my mom and was like, like, I need help kind of thing. And she took me to a counselor or I don't know, some therapist. It wasn't a great pairing. She was like this older white lady. And, we had a whole session. And I kid you not, like, I'm like spilling out my gut and and she's like, so it sounds like you have daddy issues. I kid you not. I'm like, well, no fucking shit. I could have told you that. Like, is that your expert opinion?
Where's that DSM?
Yeah, I'm like,
They got daddy issues.
as a teenager, I was like, that just seems very like oversimplification, but okay. And she prescribed me sleeping pills because I've always had bad sleep. And something for my depression, I assume. I don't remember what it was. And mom was like, no, we're not doing that because in the moment, so like for the sleeping pills, she was like, no, because I was having like SI. So she was like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you give a teenager that? And for the other meds, she was like, this is a really low dose. She's like, I had, because she was like, this isn't going to do it. She's like, she had looked it up, right? And was just kind of like, she doesn't know what she's doing, which probably not, because she didn't explain it. She didn't really do her due diligence, right? So this was high school. Let's say I was like 16. Fast forward 15 years later, my depression just like goes on a skyrockets from the infertility. That's what really aggravated it. And then after having Lilo, I come back to visit it because my PCP was like, I really suggest, like we get you some meds. But because I was still doing my treatments, I didn't want it to interfere with the IVF. So I was like, I'm not against it, but like, I just want to wait. She's like, okay. And so after I had him, I came back and was kind of like, yeah, like, let's do it. She's like, all right, let's start you with, it was like 25 or something like that. She's like, it's super low. This is just the beginning. We want to introduce it to your body. We want to get your system used to it. Give it a week. And if you feel okay, double it, right? And we gradually did that. She kept checking in, and we got up to 100, which is where I'm at right now. And she's like, this is like a normal dose. And I feel like now looking back, that's probably what my original prescription was supposed to be, but she didn't communicate that. She wasn't explaining it to me, and she didn't explain it to mom. And it's like, yeah, like I would be very wary too. Like, you're giving me prescription to my teenager. I don't know much about it because this was what, 20 years ago. So like, the information, the stigma, like it's barely better now. Like, so she was like, no, but it's like, I know that I know it would have helped feeling how I feel now. So it's insane, but we all have our journeys. But I love it. I'm actually thinking I might need more. And something for my ADHD too, because it's like, yeah, now I feel like normal, but I'm still like, ding, 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 ding. And that's not how brains work either. I'm like, is this what normal people feel like? Like my brain is like balanced. It's insane, but I love it. So I am a advocate. I will say I understand over medicating is a thing and that not everybody needs it. But I do, and I love it, and it's gonna get me through.
Yeah. Preach. Do you want to go to the?
Hey, sorry, really fast. Because during my journey, I was self-medicating. So from my 20s, teens, 20s, I was self-medicating with alcohol, all the things that young people do and should not. And it was a way to, and I think that's why it hit me so hard with when we were trying to get pregnant, because I like was clean, and trying to process things. That's when it hit me hard, and I was like, yeah, I need something. So that's important to understand. I think folks self-medicate without even understanding that they're doing it. So don't be scared. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
You want to go, Julia?
Sure. So my journey is a little different. I was like a full-ass adult when I was first introduced to medication. I mean, I have always like had SIs, some like self-harming moments and blah, blah, blah. Definitely self-medication. I was like, well, I'll just get blackout drunk and then I don't have to worry about nothing. And I also noticed that I would also use food as a way to cope with everything I was feeling. I'm like, you know what? If I'm full and asleep, I don't have to deal with this. So I would just, yeah, so that was an interesting thing to unpack. Well, that'll be a later story. Anyways, so I had gone to the doctor because I was like, I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. It's just really hard for me to function. I was like relying heavily on caffeine to kind of keep me focused and keep me kind of on task and going. And so I went, and there, you know how you have to do like the questionnaire at the beginning of like every appointment, which is good. It's I think it's a good screening tool. And it caught me, so I guess it worked. But so I fill out the screening thing, and I'm like, okay, I just can't wait to get like on these meds, blah blah. So I fill out this tool. I go in for my appointment, and she's like, so I see you're here for ADHD medication. And I was like, yeah. And before I could even get into like my spiel of like what I'm dealing with, she's like, okay, but I'm worried about these very high scores on the screening exam. I was like, yeah, I'm depressed and everything sucks. Like, whatever, who cares? This ADHD though. And she was like, no, baby, that's not how this works. So she was like, let's hold off on the ADHD piece and let's talk about this depression and let's talk about this anxiety, because she's like, I'm very worried. She's like, based on your scores, I'm very worried. And I was like, oh my God, she's so dramatic. Like, everybody wants to kill themselves, right? I was like, and she's like, no. So fast forward, I'm on my meds. I'm like thriving on my meds. I'm taking, I think sertraline for depression, buspirone for anxiety, and and at that time I'm not taking my ADHD meds. Okay, so I kind of level out there, and so like a year later I come back and I'm like, hey, but about my ADHD, like, okay, I don't want to kill myself. Life is better, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel so anxious, but I do still need help. So she's added the ADHD meds. Cool. So when I find out that I'm pregnant for the first time, I had to drop all of that. Like, I think I was on a different depression and anxiety med that is not recommended for pregnant women. And so at some point she like switched I don't know, I can't remember all the details because it's fuzzy, but I had to stop everything during pregnancy, and that was very hard. That was like, that was probably the most difficult time of my life, because I was like, oh, all these old feelings are coming back, like, because I had the medication piece and she had been suggesting therapy for like years. I'm like, I'm a therapist. I don't need to talk to anybody. I know what I know. Like, come on. And she was like, okay, but I'm really worried about this postpartum bit. Like, it's coming up fast, and I think you should be in therapy beforehand to kind of be a safety net after the fact. Long story short, I didn't listen. I was like, I know best. And so it was definitely rough. Lots of like, again, because I had no coping skills. I just was relying on the medication to like help me through life instead of actually learning how to handle life when it's rough. So that was like kind of a hard time for me. Like, the SI came back, self-harm came back. I was weeping all the time. Like, everything was difficult. Like, nothing felt like I could handle it. Like, everything was overwhelming. I was tired all the time. I just wanted to sleep. I kept being like, I just want to sleep forever. Like, can I just go to sleep forever? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it sounds scary, but in my head it was like, that's what you need. Like, you just need rest, girl. Just sleep forever. Like, so that's how my brain was like talking to me. And so that was rough. So as soon as I like got through that, I was in that postpartum bit. I think I made it like I think I did 6 months of breastfeeding. So I couldn't be on meds. And then I feel like I just internally collapsed. I was like, I can't do anything else. Like, I'm spent. And so like my husband and I talked, like, he's like, you could go back on your meds. Like, you don't need, because in my head, I was doing all this to myself. Like, I was putting the pressure of wanting to breastfeed longer, and I could do it. Like, why aren't you doing more? Or you could be better, but you're not. Like, it was all a mess in here. So at the 6-month mark, I got back on my meds, but it was like different. I think they don't really talk about that piece, because like I was able to kind of get back into what I was already in. And that's when so I got back on the sertraline, and then she added in the buspirone for breakthrough anxiety. And I think where I was at 100 milligrams twice a day of the sertraline for depression, and then like a low dose for the anxiety piece. And it just like, it felt like the cocktail wasn't cocktailing anymore. Like, it felt like it was helpful because, you know, I had a clearer mindset, but it felt like my lows were a lot lower than they were before. And I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that I feel like I was still dealing with postpartum depression, but like in my head thinking I was back to normal. So eventually I did start therapy, because I was like, okay, this is not sustainable. Like, I'm crying all the time. I still want to die. Like, X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I can say that, but I did. So yeah, it was like really like a challenging time. And I feel like now, again, pregnant, can't be on meds, I'm like, oh God, like I'm kind of dreading that postpartum journey, just because I'm like, luckily I have therapy now, so it does feel like there's a safety net. But it was so like, I just felt out of body. Like, it just is like, I'm so disconnected that I don't really know, like, are the meds helping? Because I still kind of feel like my brain is in charge and it's a mess, but my body is like functioning through the day. So it was, yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm a little bit scared, not gonna lie. And so I've been talking to my therapist about it, how I'm like, life is really hard. Like, everything is difficult right now. And she's like, well, I'll send you to a psychiatrist who specializes in like mothers and prenatal health and all that stuff. Okay. So in my area, resources are few and far between. So I go see this like nurse practitioner, and he's actually awful. Like, he did not have any kind of bedside manner. I'm in his tiny ass office. He's behind like this big ass computer typing and is like not connecting with me. I'm silently weeping in his office, and he like looks over his computer. He's like, "You're not crying, are you?" And I'm just like, yeah, why would I be crying? I'm just talking about the fact that I don't want to live anymore and like life is hard. So he was like, okay, well, if he's like, well, there's low risk with sertraline, but there's never no risk. That's what he kept telling me. He's like, so if you can, if you think you can handle it, just maybe don't take, he was like very much pushing, don't do the medication. And I was like, okay, but like, do you not hear that I'm like, that was like the worst hour of my life. Anyways, so he's like, okay, well, I'll prescribe the lowest dose and we'll start from there. And for me, from going from 200 milligrams a day to 20, I was like, is this going to be worse? Like, this is a drop in the bucket. Like, is this going to make me feel good for 20 minutes of the day and then I'm going to crash? Like, so I got really paranoid about that, and I have not filled that prescription. That was like a month ago. But I have been talking to my therapist about it because I was like, I just feel like I'm going to introduce this medication, and I think right now I feel pretty stable for being unmedicated. And so I'm very scared that like that delicate balance will go the wrong way. And so I've been like kind of avoiding it, but I am an advocate for medication. It just sucks that like our providers don't have that like layered knowledge of like what it's like to be a mom who just recently had a baby, who has not dealt with the postpartum depression from the first round. And it's like, it just feels like there's not again, they're trying to make it one size fit all, and it's not that way. And then you don't get that sympathy, you don't get that connection. You just kind of get someone being like, well, I guess if you have to be on meds, here's a little tiny Band-Aid. And I'm like, So that's where my current medication journey is. And it needs help. And I do, like I said, I advocate for medication because you can't do it alone. And sometimes your brain is just wired crazy. It's like, it is what it is. Like, you just need it. And luckily there's not a stigma as much anymore. Like, I feel like people just be talking about their meds all day long. But I definitely like, there's still that piece of like, well, you're on medication, so why aren't you better? And I think that it's more than that. And sometimes we're not talking about the more piece. We're just kind of talking about the starting meds, not really like how to function in a world that's constantly traumatizing everybody.
Yeah.
So yes, that's my current and history of meds. We're still healing, y'all. We're still doing it.
It's a journey. And just to piggyback off that, I am also concerned about like getting pregnant again and having to get off. Like, that is something I think about a lot, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. But we'll bridge later.
Yeah. The risks aren't just like, oh, little tiny things. Like the medication I was on, the risk was heart defect within the first trimester. I'm like, Okay, so cold turkey, I stopped everything because I was like, wait, I'm already terrified. I didn't think I was going to have a baby. So I'm already terrified, and now you're telling me that the medication that's been propping me up is potentially going to impact my child's heart? Like, no. So yeah, it's a slippery slope. Ooh, child.
All right, boo.
It's all up to you.
All right. Okay. So I am the newest member to Medicated Mamas.
We should make shirts.
And I'm just like, I just wish I knew about this sooner. I think my anxiety and depression really hit probably middle school, high school for sure. And like, it's not on you, Julia, but I remember when you left, I couldn't cope with high school anymore and I dropped out and just got my GED and still dealing with my anxiety and depression. Um, I was self-medicated with things that should not, with multiple partners, alcohol, just trying to feel some sort of self-worth and like love for myself. So just going through all that, you know. And I would do like singular therapy sessions throughout my young adult years. And then when I came to Texas, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start new. I'm gonna, you know, be the best version of me. And then uh, I got in a car accident, stopped working, got depressed, got anxiety. So I started finding that self worth from other people, dating multiple guys, getting in bad relationships. And then when I met my children's father, I felt good. I was happy in the beginning. Like he treated me nice, and I felt that self worth again from another person, not for myself, unfortunately. And then having the babies, I think, pushed me with postpartum, and like that anxiety came 100 times more than I ever did in my entire life. I remember feeling how I used to feel in high school, but like amplified, and then got pregnant again, and then going through so much, problems with the ex. And I was feeling so lost, and I didn't feel the love anymore from the man that I thought, you know, loved me and all that. And I like my self worth didn't matter anymore. I lost him and da da da. It was just so many things going on in my brain that I started thinking irrationally, behaving irrationally, making stupid decisions. And then, I think after a certain incident, I was like, all right, this is not okay. And I was talking to my sister, talking to my mom, talking to my other sister. And I'm just like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I'm not going to get into it, but it was not a smart thing to do. And that's when, like, Lorraine, just like, she gave me a link. I went on it. I set an appointment. I spoke to a great woman. She got me on medication. And instantly I felt a difference. It's just like all the fog that was clouding my mind, making me feel like I was worthless and I couldn't do anything without this man, or you're not going to be able to do anything on your own because, you couldn't finish high school, you couldn't keep, a job or all that kind of stuff. Everything just cleared out, and I was able to just see everything for what it is. Like, okay, you can do this, Janelle. It's gonna be okay. You have a support system. You are a smart girl. You had two babies. You can freaking do this. They are relying on you. And like from there, it got a little bit easier. Now, yeah, I mean, certain things happen. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling anxiety again, feel that depression, but like I book my appointments. I talk it out with my therapist, and we're working on getting the right dosage for me. And so I do feel like I'm on the right track because like I don't have any need or want to try to fill that void of self-worth from another person just for myself. And that's where I'm starting at. So like I just wish I knew about this when I was younger. And like again, it wasn't talked about, it wasn't even glorified, like it wasn't given such praise for like it's okay to medicate, it's okay to get help. And I feel like because I knew what I thought, medication, oh I don't need that, because I always thought like people who had like bipolar, like serious, like who really do need that balance. It doesn't matter, like anxiety, depression, if you it's okay to get medication, because even like if you only may need the small dose that you don't know, but you don't think you don't need it until you talk to a professional and they're gonna like, yeah, let's just try it. Just try it. And damn, dude, I think it's the best thing ever. And so like, yeah, I highly recommend it. Go talk to a professional.
10
talk
out
it
of
out.
10.
10 out of 10. Your whole like perspective on life, on yourself, everything will change for the better. Oh yeah.
And to piggyback off that too, I feel like some people are like, well, I tried medication and it didn't work. I had to try like 3-4 different like brands. I don't know if that's the right word, but different medications for the same issue before we found one that was compatible and that I could actually feel like, whoa, this is working. And I think it's hard to ask for help. And then when you do ask for help and what they give you, you're like, well, I feel the same. And it's just making me fucking tired. Like, this isn't what I wanted. Like, please don't let that be like a deterrent to be like, hey, doctor, this is how I feel. And I don't think that this is the outcome that I want. Let's try another one. Trying a different medication, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. Like, it just means that it's not the right fit for you. And I think encouraging yourself and empowering yourself to be like, okay, well, that one didn't work. It has nothing to do with me. It just that our chemistries didn't match up. And I think I took it personal the first couple meds because I was like, why isn't it working? Like, they said that this is the most like, that should help. And it's not. These professionals are telling me that I should be better and I'm not. So what's wrong with me? So it's very easy to get caught up in that spiral, but like, just try and try and try and try. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It is.
And I think that goes the same for like therapy. I know a lot of people get turned off like, well, I didn't like that therapist. That's fine. Like, these are other human beings. And if you are not at a point of comfort or you feel safe, like, find another one.
Yep.
And another one. Shout out to Therapy for Black Girls, because that's where I found mine. And that's what I sent to Janelle to find hers.
Yeah.
It's not sponsored. It could be.
But the joy.
Yeah.
But that makes a difference. And like being mindful of like how culturally like we may need a little hand holding to get through this, because it's not easy. But yeah. And I want to like touch on what you said, because I think we overlook like self-medicating with like relationships and those types of activities.
Yeah.
Because that, I think we go straight to like, drinking and other things, but having these, fast love relationships and just being like all in, like, I love you, and like being a little reckless, but that's a part of it too. So yeah, thank you for saying that, because I too was a lady of the streets.
I feel like my anxiety didn't allow me to do that. But I would fall hard for people that like I talked to 3 times. Like, so I was like, it was in there, but my anxiety like wouldn't let me act on anything.
Yeah. Girl, no.
It's like,
like, come on down.
Online dating, anything's possible. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, that is a point, because it is easy to use some other outlet, another person, as your escape, because that's what it is. We're just trying to escape the chaos that's going on in here.
Yeah.
And that like, it's not supposed to be chaotic up in here. Like, that like blew my mind when I started medication. I was like, I'm not supposed to be like battling myself in here and I shouldn't be just getting like berated every 5 seconds. Like that's not normal. Like there shouldn't just be a cloud of nonsense stopping from like existing. And no, it's not supposed to be like that. And so it was like my mind. It blew.
Yeah.
I tell you guys all the time, like when I first started my Adderall, that like I cried because I didn't know how hard I was working before. I didn't know how mean I was to myself for not being able to like do the thing. Just do it and just get up and do the laundry. Just go do it. What are you doing? Just do it. And so once I had the medication, I was like, I was really playing my own self. Like I was just like falling into that trap of like you should be able to be better and do all these things. Like everybody else is able to do it, but not you. And so, yeah, medication really like it felt like it flipped the light on for me, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know I was in the dark. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. I almost cried.
I don't think I've ever had a full like. What'd she say?
I said I almost cried when Janelle was talking. I was like, keep it together. I remember that time. That was a rough freaking time.
That's always hard because it's like you guys were so young. Like you guys had no control over it. Like it was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And you guys were so like, oh.
On my end too, I was like, I would just like, I didn't realize how depressed I really, like looking back, you can totally see it. Yeah. But at the time, you know, I was a moody teenager and I'll get over it and all this stuff. And it was like, no, I'm literally heartbroken right now. Like this is, like I'm devastated. I would just walk around with like a hoodie on in Arizona, 1,000-degree weather. I would be like, okay, this is life, I guess.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I was like, it'd be better. It'd be better if I just passed out real quick. Maybe some time will pass. Like, yeah, that was a rough fucking time.
Yeah.
We healing.
I'm glad we were able to share that. I've never had to do a timeline.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Oh my God, I was rough.
And then I realized how old we are, right?
Girl, when I started saying 20 plus years old,
geriatric.
The disrespect in that title.
Okay, do you guys want to move into our question?
Yeah. Can we do like one segue before I forget? Because I don't want to forget. We had a question and I want to respond to it before I forget and like move on. So one of our listeners asked about, in reference to the last episode about childcare, she asked about home services. And I was like, I completely forgot about that because I actually did do backup care. So really quick, I don't want to take, it's from Itzel. I don't know who that is, but hey girl. She said, what are your thoughts regarding home visiting? Have you ever participated in one, or was there was there insufficient awareness in your community regarding the topic? So I'm going to assume that she was referring to like daycare, like a nanny, right? In home service. So when I started at my current job, they offered backup care through Bright Horizons. So basically, name drop. I know, right? They weren't great, but anyways. You get a number of like hours or something, and you get a discounted rate to get a nanny, because the idea is like, say you have daycare, but the baby's sick and they send them home, right? So, I still need to go to work, but I can't drop you off. So you get a nanny to come in and watch them for the day. And I use that because I needed to get work done, and he wasn't in daycare yet. So I did try that and I did like it. I'm not going to lie. I did enjoy having them come to the house. We had a little camera in the living room. So it was cool. I was able to get some stuff done in the bedroom. But yeah, so that was something that I did try. Nannies are a underrated service, and I think as Black women, we feel like it's not for us. It is, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the opportunity to at least try it out, you should. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah.
Because when I was first pregnant and I was like getting closer to giving birth, I was looking at like care.com because it's like, I don't want him to go somewhere. I need, like, again, anxiety through the roof. I had just left working in child welfare. Like, everything was still fresh, that everybody is a predator. So I was like, I want them in my house. I want my baby to be comfortable. I want to have my eyes on you. And I had looked through that, but it did feel like it was a little bit like out of reach. Like this maybe wasn't for me. Like I wasn't the right client, if that makes sense. And then again, you just go with the horror stories of like what's going on. But yeah, I totally forgot that I had looked down that avenue. And it's kind of cool because you could interview them and kind of see like how they were or whatever, but we just ended up using family, obviously. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. So thanks for bringing it up, Pizza.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Julia.
Okay, so this actually is not from a game. I was like, again, I'm always on Facebook. I'm an old lady. I love me some Facebook. So I was on Facebook and I saw this question and I was like, this is kind of interesting and let's try it out. Okay. If someone gave you a box that contains everything you lost in your life, what would you search for first?
My passport.
Logical. I need this. Where is it?
Like your virginity or something? Where's that?
My sanity. Is it in the box? Let me dig it out. No, I will say
joy. What was that like?
I'll say mine's a little more like, because the first thing that came to mind was Auntie. I know it's kind of weird, like her being in a box, but that was the first thing that came to mind. Like,
yeah,
bring her out. But yeah.
Yeah. I feel like mine was like my first instinct was very superficial. I was like, I had these like little, it was called a little kittle. And it was like, my mom had like, she's like, oh, I had these when I was a kid or something like that. And it's this like a little doll that's like in this little jewel case. And it had like a little chain that you could either wear like as a bracelet or something. But my first thought was like toys. Like I would have looked for like my old toys because like, for a while, toys were my only friend. So I was like, where was that little kiddo? So yeah, I immediately went to a toy.
Okay. With that in mind, I had these pink cowboy boots when we were still living in Oceanside. I know Mom threw them away, so I feel like they should be in that box because I lost them.
And see, like, I said my passport is because whenever I lose things, like, oh no, I lost it. I always find it. In the end, I always find it. I have never found that passport. I don't know where it is.
Someone stole your identity. Is catching flight. I hope they're having a great time.
But like that's the only thing. Like I usually always find it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I threw it away or something. But like no, like I don't know where that passport is to this day. So I love.
Passport is so annoying. It's just like it's necessary, but it's annoying. It's a lot of paperwork and it's annoying. And it's a lot of money.
But yeah, that's my view.
Love that. That was a good question.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Good one? Yeah, I thought it was a good one too. Do you guys have any rants or a win or a hack? I have a rant, so if you need time.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys know, we were just in Texas together. It was so cute. And baby boy had his first flight there. He did great, loved it. Every moment was perfect. The flight back. So I don't know if he just caught a bug or what, but he was having explosive liquid diarrhea. for like the days leading up to us leaving. Y'all remember? You were there. Lorraine literally came in. It smells like poop in here, and we're like, yeah, and I'm
walk the door. I'm
like, we have babies in the house. What do you think?
Open the window.
We were just at the end of it. We just got the sheets off the bed. We just
a little bit.
No compassion. Okay. So I'm freaking out because now I have a flight home with this baby. And so we get there early, for the airport. We're walking around. He shits no less than 3-4 times while I'm there. While we're just walking around the airport for this 2 max hours, we're walking around. He shit no less than 3-4 times. I'm running out of wipes. So I was like, well, let me go to the store, at the airport, see what they got, because they gotta have wipes. They have this, Pampers diaper kit that had, 2 diapers and 6 wipes. And, of course, they didn't have his size of diapers, so I was like, okay, I'll just buy that. And I'll just use those 6 wipes, which I was using 6 wipes per shit. So, whatever. So I found they had waxing kits, they had shaving kits, they had all kinds of bullshit, but just not a pack of wipes. I was like, this is crazy. So I ended up getting dude wipes, which I was like, I guess it's kind of similar, but there's essential oils in it. I don't know. It was mostly just so I could have a safety net, right? Okay, so he shits one more time before we actually get on the flight. So I was like, okay, good. I think we'll be okay. There can't be anything else in his stomach. He's got to be done. So I get on the flight, and I immediately go to the very back and sit in the corner because I'm most people like to sit up front, so I'll hopefully get a seat by myself, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Tell me why I hear a liquid shit an hour and a half into the flight. I hear it. He's sitting next to me, and I hear it. And so I'm terrified. I'm like, oh, it's going to start seeping out, and the whole plane is going to smell like shit. Cool. So I asked the flight attendant, hey, is there a changing table in this bathroom? Because I can see the bathroom from my seat. It's right there. No, the changing table's only in the front. I was like, okay. So I scoop up the baby and his little booty from literally the very last seat. I have to go to the front. So I'm bumping into everybody. My ass is hitting 7 people down the road. His shoes are hitting. I was like, I don't care. I got a baby. Yep, I was hitting everybody. So I'm the person 3 rows back from the bathroom in the front gets up with their baby in front of me and goes into the bathroom. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to just wait. So I go up next to that bathroom holding him. And the flight attendant's like, ooh, for safety reasons, you can't wait here. She's like, you can just go back and find a seat. The whole plane is full. So I have to go back to my seat at the very back of the plane after I just bumped into everybody. Everybody. I bumped into everybody. Everybody. So I'm walking back and then at this point I'm about to cry. I'm literally oh my God, wow, okay, this really sucks. He's gonna shit everywhere. I'm trying my best. I'm by myself. I literally was on the verge of tears, and I was pissed because I'm not trying to break into the pilot's little area. I just have a baby who took a shit, and you saw me walking up. It's not anyways. So I get to the back, and the other flight attendant's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, she said I couldn't wait over there, and I had to come back to my seat. She's like, no, you could have just stayed and found a seat up front. I was like, there's no seat. What are you talking? And I was like, and I'm about to change him over here, but he took a shit, and I don't think you guys want to smell that. And they were like, oh, no, that's okay. And so the flight attendant was so sweet. Okay, shout out to this other one, because she's like, I'll go up there, and I'll save your spot, so that when they come out, you come over, and if anybody comes up in front of you, I can tell them, no, we're holding it for this baby. Cool. So I get into she's like, okay, when you lock the door, it'll turn the light on. I'm like, okay. So the changing table's down. My child is too big for it, obviously. So I kind of put him on there, and his like legs are like all crunched up. He's pissed because I just woke him up, so he's like crying. And I literally like I had to like turn in place to like lock the door for the light to be on. So like my butt is touching the door, and like my stomach is touching the changing table. There's no room. There's just not any room. None. So I changed the shitty diaper. I put it back for them. And then again, I waddled my ass back down to my seat. But literally, like, that whole experience, I was like, you really don't give a fuck about moms or kids. One changing table? Like, and in the front? It was awful. I literally was like, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. And then what? Then they're just going to have to, like, pull me off this plane because I can't physically handle this. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. So, Southwest, y'all tried me. Y'all really tried me with that one and this rule that I couldn't stand up there. I'm holding a baby. I'm not doing the most. Like, he shit, you see the diaper in my hand and the wipes. The 3 wipes I have left. Like, please. It was terrible. So, note to selves, if you ever fly with Southwest, there's only one changing table and it's in the front. And you can't sit there. So you better figure it out.
That's the word.
Yeah, that's my rant. I was sitting on that one because I was pissed. I was like, I hate everything and everyone. I stepped on some man's shoe who was asleep. I startled him all awake. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, life be lesson. I had to go up 3 times.
But you made it.
I made it. And he didn't shit through his outfit.
Yay.
That's all we can ask for.
Yeah, that's a win. Ah.
Love that.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Okay, my win is that he is transitioning to the big kid room on Tuesday. I met with the teacher. Yes.
Tuesday?
She's amazing.
Gosh,
I know. Luckily, they're doing all the legwork. I'm just going to do my usual drop off, but and she's so cool. She's like, he's going to learn a lot with me. Like, after talking with her, I'm very excited, and I think he's going to like it a lot. So I'm just very much looking forward to that. But half rant, why are they closed on Monday and Friday? They're closed for Cesar Chavez Day on Monday and Good Friday.
Am I closed those days? No.
Yeah, right?
Is school out?
No.
Yeah. But like for me, it doesn't change my schedule.
I mean, he has the last spring break. So.
Yeah. So
He
that's
did.
Oh.
What you got for us, Janelle?
I got a win. A little co-parenting journey begins. I yesterday went over to my kids' father's home to help set up their room and stuff, and we're talking. And then it's just like it's nice. It helps me move further in this process of divorce and just like how to work in a friendly way with the father without being with him. And it's like, again, medication at its finest. I'm sitting down talking to him. I'm like, you know what? We are better off as friends. You are going to be a good father. I'm going to be an amazing mother. We're going to work great together. It's going to be good. And like today, after this, we're going to go to the park and take the boys. I'm very excited because I actually rented a pavilion spot for Jensen's first birthday. I'm so excited for that. So I get to go check it out and see how it looks and start planning. But I think it's a win. It's just, I'm making good vibes all around. I don't need drama. I don't want any petty shit going on. The boys are too young. So if we can have them grow up in a great environment with a new normal, that's what I want. So I'm just feel good. I feel like I'm winning.
You are winning.
That.
Yeah, from going from like a week ago, like
right.
Like that's a lot of progress in 1 week. Like good on you.
Love to see it.
Look at us. We're like doing things.
Girl.
Okay, motivational quote
Yes.
for the week.
Mhm.
But it's also like kind of advice. And I feel like this one resonated with me. And so I just was like, I felt it on my spirit to share. So I don't know. We'll see. So for this next week, let's start thinking about it this way. They don't need to know your side of the story, and you don't need the last word. Seek healing, and you'll find peace in not proving your point.
Ooh.
Story of my fucking life.
Same, bro, same.
Say it again, please. Just
Yeah.
one more
One
time.
time for people back.
Yes.
There's also like a little line that says who said it, but since I get it off Facebook, I never know if it's accurate, so I just don't say it. Anyways, they don't need to know your side of the story, and you don't need the last word. Seek healing, and you'll find peace in not proving your point.
That's really good.
So real.
Yeah.
Love that.
Thank you, Julia.
That
I
was
love
a good
that.
one.
Yeah.
I felt it.
It's too close to home.
Yeah, right.
Thank
That was good. Love it.
Thanks
All
everybody
right.
for listening.
Yeah.
Love you.
Again, shout out to our listeners, our followers. We appreciate all the love and support. Thank you to Itza. Did I say that right?
Mhm.
Appreciate the interaction, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.